Pleasure to meet y'all at last. Here I am, one more time on Why Is That? And of course, see right here, this shirt, I have not actually worn it in quite some time. But as it turns out, I've got some more questions that I still would very much like to answer. And for today's question, I got myself a question based on what consoles I tend to use and what do I actually end up wanting to use to record my gaming videos. And that of which actually would depend on the console that I use, but that's just besides the point. This was brought up by another YouTube commenter, and this commenter ended up asking me, why is that you prefer Xbox over PlayStation? And there's just honestly a lot more to Xbox than I ever found out about PlayStation. Because one thing that I really do end up liking about Xbox that PlayStation might not ever have is the fact that with most updates on PlayStation actually tend to take longer amounts of time just to process. Whereas with Xbox, as I found out, it would only take several minutes, tops, to put in software updates and the like. Now the Xbox that I had was an Xbox 360 with the Kinect. It had about a 4 gigabyte system storage. But the 4 gigabyte system storage did not necessarily have anything to do with the speed of the updates. And this is just more than likely because of the fact that I have not ever seen something go as fast as an Xbox software update process. Whereas with PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and the upcoming PlayStation 5, I'm hoping might not have as much of a difference. It turns out Xbox seems to have outclassed the PlayStation based on the process of software updates. In terms of speed, in terms of how long it takes to complete the update, it turns out that Xbox happens to do better. Another thing about Xbox that really caught my eye was the fact that you could have your Xbox customized in many different ways. And you could have skins, which you can order online for them, in any color that you want, in any pattern, any way that you like. PlayStation, though, I don't happen to see too many of that. Xbox, though, happens to be quite a much more common baseline in terms of customization on the outside. But in the inside, I don't really know too much about the inside that you could customize. Though, you could even get a flash drive, which would most likely upgrade the system's storage. And PlayStation does that too, except it has a much more complex process than the Xbox one can handle. And here's a third one that I seem to like about the Xbox. Its controller. I have held an Xbox One original controller in my hands, and it happens to be the nicest in feel that I probably have ever felt. The nicest controller I probably ever felt. And that is just, bottom line, that is just hands down the best kind of feeling I could have in any sort of controller or any other type of remote or any other kind of device that you use to control the games. An Xbox One original controller happens to have the best feel that I might have ever felt in any particular gaming controller, in any console that I've come across so far. With the PlayStation 4, though, I mean, it just doesn't really seem to have as good of a feel as an Xbox One's controller. And there's just not really much else that I could actually prove as to differentiate the feel between the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One's controllers. I've got a fourth reason, however, and that actually relates to what we could look forward to in the future. In terms of the upcoming PlayStation 5, which will come out as soon as 2019, there's just not much else that we could look forward to other than the fact that it might have a really superb look to it on the outside, but it all depends on what could happen on the inside. The Xbox One X, however, which came out pretty much recently, does have itself quite a nice, superb, bold sort of look. And the inside, of course, might have itself much more storage than I've seen out of many consoles in my lifetime. Xbox One S, however, can have up to a terabyte of storage, making it one of the biggest in storage of any given game console we've ever come across. And I feel like that could be just about it, because Xbox seems to rival PlayStation in any given ways, and there's just not really much else that I can just explain about it. Although, give or take the fact that PlayStation might have itself a certain larger fan base, and because Xbox One seemed to have itself some problems of its own back in 2013 and 2014, there's no doubt that Xbox One can always get better at some point in the future. From today and onwards, I'm always going to be looking forward to what Xbox One will have to offer to us. A better software, a better running platform, a better sort of style to it. It probably wouldn't matter what I could find out, because the majority of which I tend to find out would be based on an Xbox One's true performance. On speed, connection, and likewise. Those would probably be the biggest aspects, the biggest aesthetics of any given game console that I would be looking for. PlayStation 4 doesn't really have itself as big of a game selection in any ways. With Xbox One, however, I have come across lots of gaming videos that relate to the use of an Xbox One, or an Xbox One S, or an Xbox One X. It probably wouldn't matter what Xbox One it is, but the gaming series, the game selection on any given Xbox One model happens to be huge in contrast to PlayStation 4. Because PlayStation 4 ultimately has itself a fair share of pretty much free games. Xbox One does happen to have itself a pretty large share of games in contrast to PlayStation 4, because the majority of which that we see on PlayStation 4 are free, and in turn, the free games don't always end up in the right position for us, as gamers of YouTube and likewise. So, you pretty much have it. I found out that the Xbox One could outclass a PlayStation 4, give it any time that I would like. And if you want to see more, go down on my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.